let's talk Villa, and it's the first of a few special videos that we are going to be doing on the channel over the next couple of days. And first and foremost, we're going to be reviewing our entire pre-season, looking at the good, the bad, and the outright ugly. Of course, if you are enjoying all the Villa content, we are now, what is it, as I record this video, 4 or 5 days away from the start of the season, which is very, very exciting, obviously against West Ham. For all of the best Aston Villa coverage over the course of this season, be sure to leave a like, subscribe down below, and comment your thoughts. How do you think our pre-season went? I did put out a poll on my Twitter, which I will get up now and I will pop on the screen for you as well, as you can see there. And it was just asking pretty much, in essence, how do you think the pre-season went? And we got some mixed results. If I read through them here, again, 20% said that they were really worried about how our pre-season went. The overall majority, 57%, said that there were just some concerns that need to be addressed. 20% thought it was quite good, and then 3% of people said it was perfect. So we will be breaking everything down, looking at the results, the individual player statistics, and then looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly from my opinion. But also, of course, I want to hear your guys as well. So comment down below and I will speak to you down there. But first, let's look at our results and the player stats. So thanks to All About FPL, we have all of our results here, as well as which players got individual statistics, i.e. goals and assists in pre-season. So we started off quite strong with a 3-0 win over Walsall. I'll be flashing some pictures of these games on the screen as well. Morgan Rogers getting 2 goals, Louis Barry getting a goal, with assists from Ross Barkley and Samuel Illing Jr. 3 days later against Spartak Tirana, another 3-0 victory. Morgan Rogers, Leon Bailey, Cameron Archer, with Rogers getting an assist as well as Caden Young. And then things started to take a little bit of a turn. We went to America, done our big Villa in the US of A tour, and we started off badly. Cameron Archer got a goal assisted by Leon Bailey, but it wasn't enough because Columbus Crew slotted 4 past us in a 4-1 defeat. RB Leipzig then beat us 2-0. We then went to Club America and lost 1-0 before coming back to England and actually doing quite well, beating Atletico Bilbao, or Athletic Club as they're known here, 3-2 with goals from Ramsey, Philogene and Archer, Rogers, Tielemans and Bundia coming back into the team with an assist in that game. And then we finished it off with a really disappointing 2-0 defeat against Borussia Dortmund, one that I thought we didn't play very well at all in, and we were pretty much outdone in every department. If we go down a little bit, you can see here our friendly summaries. The keynotes here, again, this is for FPL, but I do agree that Nedeljkovic was really, really good. In terms of, again, individual statistics, we'll go from the top down. Morgan Rogers, our out-and-out best performer, I think, 3 goals and 2 assists for him. Leon Bailey got on a goal and an assist. Cameron Archer actually getting 3 goals in pre-season, so it'll be interesting to see whether he will sort of play out in this at all. Ramsey and Philogene getting a goal each, and then assists for Tielemans, Bundia, Barkley, Illing Jr. and Caden Young. Obviously, Louis Barry did get a goal as well, but they're not going to count him in this because he is obviously out loan on Stockport, scoring ridiculous goals like this.
Made his second spell with the club.
So let's break it down. The good, the bad, the pause. The good. We'll start with the good. So the good stuff about this pre-season, I think one of the main things is, again, we've got minutes, we've had rotation, and our squad is all getting to where they need to be. That's the good of any pre-season, though, specifically to Aston Villa. Emi Bundia being back on the pitch, getting an assist, but just seeing him playing again was really, really nice to see. And the same goes for Jacob Ramsey. I think those two coming back from injury are massive bright spots for me. I think, having them back will exponentially improve our squad because they're only going to get better over the course of a season. It's a shame that Tyrone Mings wasn't quite ready yet, but again, having these two back for me, ideal. Moving on to other individuals that have really impressed me, I think Kosta Nedeljkovic has really come in and staked a claim to be in and around the first team, and the same with Lamar Bagard. Again, 2 young players that weren't in and around the squad last season. I think they will feature heavily this season. And then, of course, our best performer of the entirety of pre-season for me, Morgan Rogers, picking up where he left off. So I think we have a lot of promise, and that's the good of this pre-season, is I've seen a lot of good things from individual players. Like I say, Morgan Rogers for me being the standout player and Kostan Nedeljkovic being the standout young player. For me, I mean, I understand Morgan Rogers is like 22 years of age, like he's also a young player, but for me, he is the player of the pre-season. And I also thought we played really, really well against Atletico Bilbao. That was a very, very impressive and convincing performance. Their goals were down to a couple of individual errors, and our goals were really, really well worked, especially that first goal was an absolute beauty by Jacob Ramsey. But yeah, those are my main good takeaway points, and as you can see, there's quite a little while left on the video because there are some bad and some ugly that I would enjoy pointing out to you, just because I think we have to be mindful of these things, and it will maybe limit expectations going in to the pre-season. The bad is that we lost more games than we won. That's just a fact. We won 3, lost 4, I believe it is in the end. Not good. I know results don't mean everything in pre-season, and I completely and utterly get that, and I'm not blind to the fact that a lot of these players will not want to be getting injured going into for a lot of them, their first season with Premier League and Champions League football. That's amazing, for them it's going to be outstanding, and they're not going to want to ruin it by getting injured to Club America in Chicago or whatever it was that we played them. So I get that, and I get that there's a lot of new players that were integrated into the team. We were missing the core of the team for a long time in Martinez, Concert and Watkins. John McGinn as well, obviously not there until the USA tour. The other guys a little bit later. But as a team, I just think losing more than you win, especially when a lot of games you should be expected to win. I get Columbus Crew won the MLS, but we're in the Champions League. Club America, should we be beating them? Almost definitely. So it is a little bit worrying. Again, I know that results don't mean everything, but just a slight worry. That's a bad for me. It's not an ugly, it's just a bad. Another thing for me was just the leakiness of our defence. We're leaking a lot of goals. Again, I know we haven't had a concrete back line in yet, but we shouldn't really be leaking that many goals. And that brings me on to the next bad point, which is we really struggled to score sort of from the USA onwards, apart from that game against Atletico Bilbao where everything just sort of seemed to click. Every other game we just didn't really create any chances. I think we had 2 shots in the entirety of the Borussia Dortmund game. They dominated us. They absolutely dominated us, and we just didn't look like a team that was ready. And that's just, again, when you have, we're on the 13th of August now. Our first game against West Ham is the 17th, so we've got 4 days until we play West Ham, who are looking really good and really sharp and made really good signings, including Aaron Wan-Bissaka today. I think it kind of worries you a bit, and I know we got smashed 5-1 by Newcastle at the start of last season, but we don't want to repeat that, do we? But then we have to move on to the ugly. And there is a couple. Number 1, Diego Carlos. All likelihood that he is going to be sold this pre-season, and I think he's kind of given up. And again, that red card that he received, I can't actually remember what game that was in. I want to say it was in the RB Leipzig game. Yes, it was, because it was a Pender that he was arguing with. Stupid red card, and literally looked like he could not care less when he got sent off. It was petulance, and he just looked like a player that's checked out. And that's really bad, considering the only other right-footed senior centre-back we have is Concert, who also fills in at right-back. So for depth, really, really bad that a player of Diego Carlos's ilk has checked out. We need to move him on and get a replacement in as soon as possible. And then the only other thing for me that was a little bit ugly was that Borussia Dortmund game. We are a week away as we played that game, I think it was. Or was it on the Saturday or the Friday when we played Dortmund? We really should be putting that game to bed, or at least being competitive in it when we're about to start a Premier League campaign. But we were completely outclassed and outplayed in every department. We really couldn't get anything going in that game. Our best chance came from a cross out wide. Philogene, good ball in. Ramsey couldn't direct it goalwards. But we just didn't create, and they were all over us. And again, it was another defensive error for their second goal. Which kind of nicely Swegway, isn't that the thing that you ride around on? No, it's Segsway. Well, I don't even know. It brings me into my last point. And it pains me to do this one, because I think he is going to be a really good player for Villa this season. I don't think that this is going to be a reflection of his season, but Pau Torres' pre-season really, really, really does worry me. doesn't look up to the speed of the game. His passing hasn't really been there, bar a couple of points here and there. Physically, just doesn't look with it. And if he isn't on it for this season, we have no other left-footed centre-backs. You know, our replacement for him last season was Longley. This season it's Mings. I don't know when Mings is coming back to this team, and that is worrying. But that is my good, bad and ugly of the pre-season. Overall, if I had to grade the pre-season, I'd probably give it a C. I understand we're bedding in loads of new signings. I get that. A lot of young players in and around the squad. I get that. But results and performances, for me, just haven't been there. But hey, maybe we're just doing a Man City and we're going to peak at the right time and absolutely smash it. I can't wait for the game on Saturday against West Ham. But I want to hear your comments down below. What did you think of Aston Villa's pre-season? Next up on the channel tomorrow, boys, it's my Premier League table predictions. See you soon. Up the Villa. Be nice to everyone, except Matty Cash.